We're good.
Okay, well, good morning. My name is Fern Jeffries, and I'm here today at Raycam to help Raycam moms seek your help in finding a government that will support the 77 special needs children to stay in the center where there is qualified and trained assistance for their children. Assistance that will help these kids succeed in life. We were advised that the $170,000 contract with the Ministry of Children and Family Development was being terminated, and that money is critical for these children. We have special needs assessments by medical care professionals in the community. Everyone agrees that these kids need extra staff supports to be included in the community, and we are hoping that the ministry will see their way to supporting our community in meeting these needs. I'm joined today by a group of moms who are directly impacted by these cuts. I'm joined today by the executive director of an Aboriginal, community-based Aboriginal organization who, like Raycam, has contacted the minister to get help and has had no reply whatsoever. I'm joined today by the chair of the Parks Board. We're here in the Parks Board facility, and Chair Constance Barnes has been a tremendous champion of childcare and specifically of special needs childcare. So we're going to do a bit of a round table for you, and so that the public can have a sense of different perspectives on this very complex and serious problem. Scott, do you want to say a few words?
Scott Clark, SCOTTCLARK.
And who you with?
Aboriginal Life in Vancouver and Alive.
Awesome.
Yes, we've sent a letter to the minister in regards to this issue where they're going to shut down this program and 77 special needs kids are going to be left on the outside. This is going to impact 77 families, and over 50% of those families are Aboriginal children. We're calling on the minister to review this decision and put in place a consultation process which involves the parents and the families in the community to ensure that this program continues, but also is further supported, because in the inner city here we're disproportionately overrepresented by challenged families, particularly urban Aboriginal children, and this is not how we see the minister or the ministry working in the best interest of children here in British Columbia, especially in the inner city. Thank you.
My name is Constance Barnes, and I am the chair of the Vancouver Park Board. I'm here this morning to advocate for these families and for these children. What I've learned as a park board commissioner, is early care and learning is a dire need, and we really struggle to be able to have the programming that's needed. We have children here with tragic stories. We have families here with tragic stories. These cuts are going to affect these families tremendously. And I urge all of the people out there to really stand up for this group of people at Raycam. Let your MLAs know, let the province know that we need funding. We need to be, it needs to be acknowledged that these children are in great need. Myself, I've met with these families, I've heard their stories, I've met these children, and again, it's quite appalling that nobody from the province has come to meet these families. I can myself do only so much and champion this as much as I possibly can, but it needs to be a team effort. We need the province to step up to the plate. We've heard time and time again that it's families first. We have families here that on March 31st will have no child care. These are children that need, many of them, one-on-one care. So this is a very serious situation, and I myself will be stepping up to the plate to do everything possible to make sure that these children have good, a good nurtured, place to grow and to learn, and so that years and years down the road, we're not looking at a situation where we have children that are either on the streets or are becoming addicted to drugs or are in positions that they're homeless or they're being institutionalized, or for that matter, in our jail system. I think we need to look at the fact that this is the time to reach out to the children, to be able to nourish them, to educate them, and to take care of our children and families. Because if we don't do it now, I truly believe that in the end, we'll end up seeing them again, and it will not be, again, a very pleasant way to kind of go down the road and look after the children that we have the opportunity to look after now. So again, I will, maintain that it's time to step up to the plate, do what we can for these children now, and really address the great need for childcare, early learning, and especially with children with special needs. Thank you.
Give your name and how you spell it.
Andrea Esmont, Andrea Esslemont. I'm a mom with 2 kids that have special needs. My older daughter, she's got ADHD, borderline autistic, and some behavioral issues along with that. And then I've got another daughter, my younger daughter has behavioral issues and also has some hearing loss. And these programs here are essential for them. They've grown so much and done it. They've worked. They've helped my girls grow in leaps and bounds, and the fact that these programs not being here for them is going to not only cause me stress, but it's going to cause them stress, because the routine that they have is they come here. This is part of this is like a second home to them. And it's going to hurt them.
So after March, when you're at home with the kids, it's going to happen.
Oh, they will be with, yeah, there's going to be a lot more stress. The fact that they're here makes it easier for me to be able to handle them when they're at home. And after March, when they're home right after school, that's an extra hours that is going to make it harder for me to be the best mom that I can be for them.
Melanie LeCoy, Melanie Lecoy.
How are you going to be effective?
Well, I myself, I was a ward of the Ministry of Children and Families. I have 5 children of my own, ages ranging in 3, 6, 7, 9, and 13. I'd be affected because 2 of my boys have behavior problems, so they require supported help, which includes a lot of the counselors and the people that I take time to spend with them.
And then what would happen if they don't have this care?
Well, I feel like because I have like 2 years of sobriety and I get a lot of support from social workers to get to where I am today, especially with my children. I'm in my first year of family community counseling, so I'm learning different ways and about the cycle of abuse. I feel like we're going to be kind of set up for failure, and we're never going to be rid of the ministry, and that's one of my main goals in my life today, is just to be confident and independent of them.
Melanie, what does the center, this program offer you that helps you get that stability and that independence?
Well, there is many things about Raycam and the people. it's really hard sometimes to be a single mom, to have the stigma of the downtown east side. I get a lot of support in many ways. Sometimes I just need somebody to listen to me. And sometimes my kids need people to listen to them. And sometimes we just need to just be around people. And the stimuli of happy, a very happy environment is like something that, that we need today. I feel like, I speak for a lot of moms, like where I live. Because I'm a Raymer mom today, so just trying to live and make a difference in my children's lives.
Things that Melanie has said. The programs here support the children and the families and the community. And this is a very unique community that requires a unique set of skills. And the staff here are well-trained, very experienced in dealing with our children and families. And that's part of why these moms, I think, are fighting so hard to keep this funding, is so that they can keep this this cadre of very well-trained, supported staff. Because once we lose the people with those skills, daycare would have to start building from the beginning, and these moms can't afford that to happen.
My name is Christiana Akachao, Christiana. The last name is Afatchao. I'm a mother of Paloma Emero Gagado. I'm a single mom here. First of all, I want to thank Canada government to have brought me to this wonderful country. And it's happy that when I arrived in the country in 2009, I now have time to go to school right away because of my child condition. I always attend Children's Hospital, Sunny Hill, for her health condition. So 2011, I decided to go to school to improve my English so that I can find some job to take care of myself. And I spoke with the Business Center for Ability, and they helped me to find daycare in the Princess Avenue. They said that daycare is for child with disability. So for the beginning, it was nice for her in the daycare, but when she turned to 3 years old, she tried to pull herself up to start learn how to walk. And it's happened that anytime she tried to get up to walk, she would be failing and wound herself dangerously. And it's made me to be frustrated, and I don't know how to do. And I spoke to the Center for Ability several times for this problem. They said they're going to talk to the manager in the daycare. One day, when I went there to pick up my kids, she cut her tongue 2 places. Her jacket was all the broad on the jacket. My English is not good, but I'm trying to express myself. And I was angry with them. I said, I don't want to upset anyone in this daycare. But the way I look at my child today, it wasn't good for me. So I sent her to the doctor. They want to send her to the emergency department at Children's Hospital to, if it is possible for them to sew the tongue. I was so frustrated. And I came to this daycare because I know that they have people here who can deal with the family condition, and especially as a single mom like me. So I spoke with Madame Sabine. I was surprised because the way she realized to me, I feel like, oh, I have people in this community that I wasn't know. She said, no, Christina, this child belongs to this community. We can't look at her to be in trouble somewhere. I will do our possible best to find someone who will look after her in this daycare. So tell them that you're going to move Paloma from there. Then we will have a one-to-one worker for her in this daycare. She realized to me like she's my own mom who cared for me in my child. So truly happy that she found one-to-one worker who is a woman who has a lot of experience to deal with the child who have a special condition like mine. So I moved my child here in January. Now, she was doing very well in the daycare. She never fall again since I moved her here. And myself, I have a depression condition. My family doctor and the nurse practitioner in this community, they told me that I need to be doing exercise to get myself together. So now, after school, 2 o'clock, I went to the downstairs here, I do my exercise before I pick her home. So I was glad that this community, they have a good heart and they care for people. People like me, I'm just a new in the country. I don't have nobody here. I don't have nobody. I'm alone with my child. If I fell sick, I had nobody to take care of my child. But when I get people in this community center, they told me that anytime you fall sick, just call us. We will let someone to come look after you and your child. So, yeah, we need help. The people here, they are willing to help us, but they can't do it without the government assistance. So please, we need government assistance. Then they can be able to, to show their help, like the way they really want to do it. We need government assistance, please. Because the people here, they are lovely people. They care. Whether you are Aboriginal or you are immigrant, they love all of us. Yeah, I really appreciate it. They love all of us. But we still need government assistance for them to be able to continue to help us. Thank you very much.
Christiana, just a question that was asked earlier. What will you do after March if this closes? What will you do with your daughter?
Sorry.
If the center closes at the end of March, what will you do with your daughter?
No, I don't want this center to close. Because if the center closes, it will not be easy for me to go to school. And I can't be in the house with her. It will make me to frustrate. Yeah. Because I don't have a lot of experience how to take care of a child with a special need. Yeah. So I don't want this center to close. Even though they say they have a center for child with a disability, but they're not taking good care of my child as the way people here are doing it. They even told me that they can't guarantee me my child can be fall anytime in the daycare. They can't guarantee. If the child is trying to pull herself up to work, they will put her to sit down. I don't like that. So please, we don't want this center to close. This center is helping us a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
As we know, of the 111 children who are here, 77 have specific diagnoses as having a special need. It could be like cerebral palsy or fetal alcohol syndrome, and there's a whole spectrum of needs, special needs that require extra staff supports. A couple of the people who are responsible for those assessments, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Chris Locke. Dr. Locke has been a pediatrician in the downtown east side for many years, and she has tremendous experience with our children and families.
Putting me on the spot.
I know. That's the spot, I'm told.
I'm not sure of the program. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Pediatrics at the University of British Columbia and a staff physician, developmental pediatrician at Children's Hospital in Sunny Hill. And it has been my privilege to work in the downtown east side area for the last 20 years as part of our outreach for services for children and youth with special needs. And we, over the last 5 years, have been working on newer approaches to addressing the issues of inequities of access for families who are at risk because of social and material disadvantage. So it isn't only poverty but it includes families who are new Canadians, families who have lost their social networks of support, and they themselves may have had significant adversity, and they've come and have been supported through programs that assist with their housing, education, as was mentioned by previous families, and support for their children. And we very much in our research program with the University of British Columbia are looking at more responsive, interdisciplinary, cross-sector approaches to addressing the health and developmental needs. We chose to do our research here. First, we came to the community and asked whether we could participate in addressing our concerns. This community was identified by the Human Early Learning Partnership under Dr. Hertzman to have the highest density of children with developmental needs. So over 2/3 of the children in this area are not ready at kindergarten entry. We know that. And so those are children living in the neighborhoods that are served by these inner city daycares. And many of us have worked for years with women who have come through programs to address their mental health and substance use concerns. And we've watched, in my career time, I've watched women who had lost their children regain custody of their children, and women who previously would lose their children now are provided the support for sobriety as well as support for their parenting skills. So although I have been informed that there are 9 + 8 children who are recognized in ministry-supported programs, there is a remaining group, perhaps more than 50% of that number of families who choose not to be identified because they have concerns that the ministry that provides support is the same ministry that also is responsible for child protection. And they themselves have been raised in care or had experiences where they are frightened. So part of our program is around building trust and relationships and identifying these children so that at kindergarten entry they are not behind, or that we are identifying their needs. We very much support a place-based approach in child development. It's economical. It's better than reacting later when the kids drop out of school because we haven't identified their special needs. And we are looking at expanding this model across the province so that we don't just have targeted approaches to individual children, but that there are place-based approaches where many children can be supported without being specifically identified or singled out. And that in that we don't have a universal health care system or universal child care system in Canada. Some of us worry that we don't have a universal health care system in Canada now that we have inequities of access and lack of primary care. So I am here this morning to stress the importance of place-based, that there's a density of vulnerability in this community that has been shown by research at a higher level, that over 2/3 of the children in this community are not ready for kindergarten entry, and that we do need to think of new approaches here and across the province in other areas where we may have children who are similarly vulnerable. And I applaud the work of so many who have worked to provide early support, early identification, so that we can change the outcomes for these special needs kids.
With the loss of this program, what will happen?
Well, I can't imagine the loss of this program, so that I'm not there. I'm one to believe that we can come to consensus that there needs to be a specialized approach when you have such a high density of need. It is different than when you have lower ratios, where low incidence of a child with very high special needs, such as a little girl here, can be accommodated into a daycare setting. But when you then have 2/3 of the children in the same daycare who aren't ready, you need to think of other strategies than just child-specific supports.
It's GEORGINAHAWKINS. I'm a mother of 6. My oldest is 19. My youngest is 3. I have my 3-year-old at home, my 5-year-old at home, and my 7-year-old. My son is FASD. My girls are ADHD. And I am And my one little girl has Wilkinson's disease, which is basically restless leg syndrome. She's up all hours of the night. I sought help for my son when he was about 2 and I realized he couldn't speak. Nobody would help me. The doctors, Children's Hospital, nobody. I came to Raycam and they set me up with Christine Locke, who got me my diagnosis. They've been working with my son for the last 7 years, and now my son is school ready. He is very much at the top of his grade level. He is not failing, he is not falling behind. He gets the major supports that he needs from this community center. Due to the supports that they give and the quality enriched programs that they provide for us, that has given me an opportunity to be a very good advocate for my son and my daughters. Not only an advocate for my son and my daughters, but an advocate for the parents to keep them strong, to keep us all together so that we can keep fighting for our children. Without these programs, if we get stuck with Child Pacific, there are so many children who will not get the extra help. When the funding stays here, they are capable of moving staff around to fit the needs of the family. Without fitting the needs of the family, families will fall apart. People like me will lose their children. And we have struggled so much for so long that we deserve to be able to rise above everything without people looking down on us, without people putting stigmas on us. We are a very strong group of moms. We are a very proud group of moms, and we would not be this way if we didn't have the support and the help of Raycam. And the inclusion spots make this possible for all of us to be able to survive, to be able to rise above the poverty line, rise above the stigmas of the downtown east side. And a lot of us will lose our families if you guys take away what is already working, what already is quality enriched. And I can't see why any of the government would want to take away something that works, rather than give us something to improve it. Child Pacific will only give 9 children. I have 6. My friend over here has 5. My other friend has 3. You've already exceeded the limit of 9. How many other parents are going to suffer? It is not fair for any of us down in this East End to have to suffer when we have worked so hard to get to where we are.
Should be an increase instead of a decrease, should be an increase, you're saying, basically?
Exactly. They should increase for down here. Like they said, our special needs children, we are concentrated in one area. And there are so many children here with special needs, ones that are not even recognized. ADHD, they wouldn't recognize it. Some children, you never know they had it. I didn't find out until I was 37 that I had ADHD. I didn't get my education. I got nothing until I got to Raycam. They taught me how to advocate for myself. They taught me how to be strong. They taught me how to, go back and get some education. I went back and got some of my ECE so that I can look after my children in the best possible way I possibly could with their help. Without their help, I don't know if I would have learned the stuff that I learned. I don't know if I'd be as strong as I am to sit there and tell another mom, you know what, it's okay, take a deep breath. I learned all of this being here at Raycam, between Raycam and my mom. They're the best supports you could ever have. And if people want to take that away, you're going to have a lot of depressed moms, a lot of stressed out moms. You're going to create a lot of stressed out children, which are going to create more problems in school. You're going to have a lot more children kicked out, and when they get kicked out, where do they turn? That's going to raise your police bills. That's going to raise the jail bills. You guys are going to pay so much in taxes to keep these kids out of jail. You're better off just providing for them now, before it's too late, because they are your future. What kind of people do you want running your city? So I certainly don't want loose cannons running my city. I would rather have children that are prepared, that are ready, that are sustainable, and that are proud to be who they are. And we all deserve to be proud to be who we are. We deserve for people, the government, and whomever that can help down here to help us, to give our children the best start they can. And since it takes a whole community to raise a child, well, this community does that. I've never seen another community that I've been raised in do as much as this one community does in this small little area. I've been at Raycam for many years, and they have not failed me, not once. Don't let the government make them fail.
We can obviously keep going. There are many more both community members and moms and parents who are interested in speaking. I know you have deadlines, and so you need to tell me whether we should continue going or whether we should wrap.
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think
Is
the-
for television to be able to show the daycare space and any children that are okay to be on camera?
All of the children have the appropriate approval, so yes.
Go into a childcare center.
Which way is the daycare center? Further? Okay.
Oh, yes. And there's no
I never got a chance to say goodbye, but so she mentioned, I want to take you guys out for dinner. Find a place that's convenient so I can.
You really have to build the capacity in this.